Russell Westbrook. You love the Philadelphia Eagles. Let me get a hell yeah!
Hey, what's up, guys? It is Dibes, Mr. Crockpot on Twitter. Welcome to Party on Broad. Party on Broad can be found on iTunes and Spotify. Make sure you subscribe to the Painted Lions YouTube channel. Daryl Morey did something really cool today. He held an AMA on Sixers Reddit. Today, I'm going to break down the top questions and answers that Daryl Morey responded. Let's get to the responses. All right, first question is by Dayman1. What do you think of Shake Milton? How good is and how good can he be? Daryl Morey says, I think the league hasn't caught up to how good Shake Milton can be. It was one of the first things Doc and I spoke about after I joined. We are excited to see what he can do this year. I advise everyone here to go check out our recent video of Austin Krell joining 94 WIP, speaking about Shake Milton and his potential in the starting lineup. KDE Marino asks, how do you see the front office hierarchy with regards to general manager Elton Brand? Will you be making decisions jointly, or does Brand come to you and you make the final call? Daryl Morey says, Elton and I have been collaborating very closely. I think he has a chance to be one of the great GMs with his skill set. On top of that, he has a unique background of being a top NBA player. I feel like it has been a great partnership where we are learning from each other. I like giving staff huge responsibility as it helps them develop. I take a small amount of pride. There are 6 front offices that are run by folks with Houston ties now. Elton Brand's role in this front office has been questioned countless times since the Daryl Morey signing. Here is a little more clarity on what it means. All Dave in PA asks, will Sam Hinkie ring the bell at the first game of the year? And Morey responds, seems unlikely. I don't think fans will be allowed at the first game. And to piggyback off of that, Cat's Warm Gin asks, has Sam Hinkie ever told you a joke or a funny anecdote? Please share. Morey responds, Sam and I are dramatically different, but he is actually very funny. I am just more comfortable being open. I think this AMA, responding to fans' questions, is a great start to becoming more progressive and front with the fans. Next up, Hamon_Lee asks, hey Daryl, thank you for your time in doing this AMA. Just a few questions. What did you see in Ben and Joelle that made you believe in signing up to be part of the Sixers organization? He responds, both Ben and Joelle are superstar players in their peak of their prime. It is actually very rare to find examples where this is the case, and it usually leads to something special. If you compare Ben and Joelle to historic comparable players, there is obviously no perfect comparison for either, but both have a high probability of being the top players of all time given how they started and their age. Secondly, who is your favorite NBA player you have worked with or been around? Daryl responds, I can't name active players, but I can think of 3 who are my favorites who have retired. First up, Shane Battier. Second, Yao Ming. And 3, Luis Scola. To wrap up this question, what do you do to help stay focused when you work? Do you have any daily routines? Morey responds, I am sort of an anti-routine guy. I like to come in the morning and make sure I work on the most important thing, and that could be different by the day. Put the big rocks in before the sand, if you know that metaphor. The next response is by Secondhand Food. Hi, Daryl. What kind of food do you put on a cheesesteak? Daryl Morey responds, whiz. Coming at my heart already. Next up, do you expect big men 6'10" or higher with guard skills to become more common over the next 10 years, or will they remain to have the same rarity? Essentially, do you believe the young training of tall athletes or inherent coordination of tall athletes is the limiting factor for skilled 4s and 5s? Daryl Morey responds, I think basketball skill in general will be increased across all 5 players on the floor. It is extremely exciting to think of what a small ball lineup of Ben Simmons can do with Daryl Morey as a force behind it. Next up, we have free_top asking, hi Daryl, how often have you watched Ben Simmons' defensive highlights in the early mornings? Daryl Morey responds, this is more late night viewing to get me excited. I think I speak for everyone here. Many of us have fallen into a black hole in the late hours on YouTube. Next up is Dead Ass NWA. Daryl, how do you think a prime AI would fare on the Sixers in today's game? What numbers would he put up? Where would he be ranked among the other guards in the league? Morey responds, I think AI would fare better right now. Put him as a centerpiece of Mike D'Antoni's system in Houston and watch out. It is absolutely scary to think what Allen Iverson would look like in a pick and roll system on offense. We can all dream, can't we? The_Druth asks, when you're scouting a college international player, what do you prioritize, especially picking in the 20s? Do you prefer raw upside or more guys who project to be a specialist? Daryl Morey responds, mostly look for upside, but also open to older players who can make quick contribution in the draft. Example, Carl Landry and Aaron Brooks in my first Houston draft. Receives Reddit Gold asks, Daryl, thanks a billion for the AMA and welcome aboard. My question, what macro shifts do you anticipate in the NBA playing style over the next few years? We've seen an evolution with smaller ball lineups, focusing on faster play style and more three-point attempts. The Rockets were well documented with using data-driven decisions that deprioritized mid-range attempts and focused on shots at the rim and from three. Do you see a counter movement with bigger players to offset small ball or something different that analytics are proving to be effective? Amazing question. Daryl Morey responds, you sort of answered your own question. I think bigs with less skill will get less playing time over time, which will make the truly skilled bigs like Joelle Embiid that much more valuable. I do think teams will play more up-tempo, space the floor with more skill at all 5 spots that will open up counter strategies where teams look to optimize winning the possession game versus the shooting efficiency game. Basketball is a dynamic, fun game with more than one way to win. To me, that screams positionless basketball. Positionless basketball is here to stay, whether you like it or not. The Way of Bob asks Daryl Morey, Daryl, I had no idea you were into table tennis. As a fellow obsessive, who on the Sixers would give you the toughest game? Have you considered a team tournament for road trips? Daryl Morey responds, I doubt anyone on the Sixers could give me a game. I was lucky enough in Houston to play the real Jimmy Butler, 4-time USA champion all the time. 2 things. How hilarious would it be to see Brett Brown versus Daryl Morey in a ping pong tournament? Number 2, look up the real Jimmy Butler on Google. You will find that this guy does not wake up at 3 a.m. And yes, he is a ping pong player and not the Miami Heat's Jimmy Butler. Educational Effect 23 asks, hey Daryl, where's the first spot in Philly you went for a cheesesteak? I would also suggest trying a tomato pie. It's amazing. Hells yeah, tomato pie for life, baby. Daryl Morey responds, I went to Pat's today and that was awesome. Mostly because if you put Cheese Whiz on anything, it will be awesome. First recommendation, make sure you try the melted provolone. It will blow your mind, Daryl. Lastly, Tribe Poker asks, hi Daryl, thanks for doing this. As a fan base, us Sixers fans are fairly acute aware of the team's strengths and weaknesses. We really love what we excel at and really hate where we're flawed. So, my question is, could you share one strength of the Sixers heading into the season that isn't always brought up and one area of improvement that you really want to see the Sixers improve upon coming into next season? Daryl Morey responds, offense was obviously the biggest weakness last year, but I think with the additions of Doc, Yeager, Seth, and Danny, along with Doc, moving some of last year's players into better roles, I believe our offense can be top 10 in the NBA. I think a strength of the roster that I don't hear people talk about is the rotation runs deep with quality players. One area that often submarines good seasons is when teams have to play near replacement level players for large minutes. I don't see that happening with this roster. What does that mean? It looks like the roster you're seeing today is the one you're going to get on opening night. Seth and Danny Green are here to stay and expect them to get major minutes this season. Before we wrap it up, make sure you comment in the comments section below. What questions were your favorites? Do you agree or disagree with anything Daryl Morey said? Do you like where the Sixers are projecting moving forward? Let's wrap it up. All right, guys, that was the best of the best in the Daryl Morey AMA over on Reddit on Friday night. What did you think of the comments and responses? Let us know in the comments section below. This is the Painted Lions YouTube channel. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe. It is Dives, Mr. Crockpot on Twitter. Thank you everybody for watching. Stay awesome.